Well, our top story today from the gatewaypundit.com, Minnesota governor and National Guard begin preparing for riots over possible Chauvin pardon. We're talking about this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundits Week in Review. My name's Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundits Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today comes from Cassandra McDonald, who reports that Minnesota governor and National Guard begin preparing for riots over a possible Chauvin pardon. We've got the full story. Well, it turns out that Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota National Guard, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, and Hennepin County Sheriff DeWanna Witt have reportedly all been briefed on preparations for potential riots if former police officer Chauvin is granted a presidential pardon. Chauvin, of course, was the officer filmed kneeling on drug addict George Floyd during his fatal interaction with police. His death has caused nationwide deadly Black Lives Matter riots throughout the summer of 2020. According to a report from local station KSTP, multiple sources told 5 Eyewitness News that Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota National Guard, Mayor Jacob Frey, and Hennepin County Sheriff DeWanna Witt have all been briefed on preparations for possible civil unrest if President Donald Trump pardons former Minneapolis police officer Chauvin for his federal conviction of killing George Floyd. However, it turns out here that Antifa supporting Attorney General Keith Ellison told MSNBC over the weekend that Chauvin will not be released. He still owes Minnesota 22.5 years, and he's going to do it either in Minnesota or somewhere, but he's not getting out, Ellison asserted. Monday, Governor Walz told the media that no indication whether they're going to do it, but I think it behooves us to be prepared for it. With this presidency, it seems like something that they would do. Minnesota, that's Tim Walz, correct? This is the guy who just ran for vice president and lost bigly despite spending $1 billion. $1 billion. He spent $1 billion. No, not a lot of billions of dollars now. It's kind of remarkable because this really comes down to the question of, right, is Chauvin guilty of second-degree murder? And if he's not, and also violating, fentanyl Floyd's civil rights, but if he's really not guilty of those things, then even if it's going to cause problems as a country out of justice, we need to let him go. And also, we need to stop living in a country of fear where we're so afraid of Black people burning down our cities that we don't do the right thing. Now, then what's better about civil Western society if we're allowing these people that, claim they want diversity to control the ethics of our judiciary? I don't really know. But you tell me what you think. Should Chauvin be released? I'd love to hear it. Plus, turns out that Trump Never Surrender gold sneakers are a bold, patriotic statement with a gold finish and red and white blue accents. They're comfortable, durable, and lightweight, and they perfectly fit for daily wear, sparking huge conversations. Every time you wear one of these, people are going to be like, where'd you get those shoes, man? Those are some cool shoes. And I'll get them for your kid, too. Those are so cool. Maybe you have a kid who's wants to show that they're MAGA at school, but they don't want to wear a hat or they have no hat policy. Get them these shoes, man. The Never Surrender slogan inspires resilience, making them ideal for Trump supporters or bold-style lovers. Limited to 1,000 numbered pairs. They're exclusive and collectible. Grab yours at themagaoffers.com/GP. That's spelled THEMAGAOFFERS.com/GP. With up to 15% off using our pundits link. Act fast. They're selling out at themagaoffers.com/GP. Guys, these are a steal. Grab them because they look like someone would steal them off your feet. They're so nice. You know what I mean? It looks like a George Floyd mourner would steal them off your feet. Really, it does look like that. These are some great stuff. Check them out before it's too late. Now, that being said, I want to read this to you. A shocking video. Cartel shoots and kills a Mexican mayoral candidate, her daughter, and 2 other people during a Facebook live stream. I want to warn you, I think this is censored, but still, this is absolutely insane. Viewer discretion is advised.
Por ahí, señores. Por ahí, señores, por ahí. Por ahí se acaba de vivir un atentado en contra de la licenciada Yesenia Lara Gutiérrez.
Absolute tragedy. Yesenia Lara Gutierrez was fatally shot by suspected cartel gunmen during a Facebook live stream, according to Brianna Morello, while greeting supporters. She's the second politician killed in the state before June 1st elections. And that's why we should let more Mexicans into our country, because they've done a really good job governing their own country. And now there's someone who's not even Mexican governing Mexico. Isn't that crazy? You have a non-Mexican. Same thing with Ukraine. You have a non-Ukrainian, non-Christian Ukrainian running a Christian Ukrainian country. You have a non-Catholic Hispanic running a Catholic Hispanic country. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? I think it is. You should look it up. That being said, Tim Berquette burns liberal with a funny reply after the leftist asks a gotcha question regarding Medicaid. Check out this clip we have here from Colin Linebarger, who reports. Watch.
How can you assure the American people Medicaid won't be cut?
How can you assure your Nana that you still support her after she told you that chocolate milk was not coming around the house?
I don't think I really understood what he was saying there, so I'll probably have to read the copy. It says that Tim Burchett quickly became one of America's top members of Congress. Down here, let me go down here. He said, Congressman, how can you assure that American people that Medicaid won't be cut, he asked. Burchett responded by roasting the liberal troll with an amusing reply saying, how can you assure your Nana that you still support her after she told you that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, he quipped. Am I just young or something? I feel like I'm pretty old. But that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Is that a saying? Is that an old saying? The brown cows?
I'm not sure if it's an old saying, but it's I don't know how much of that is a gotcha question. So, but
yeah, me neither. I'm not entirely sure at all. That being said, lastly, I want to talk about two little stories here. A judge strips New York City of its control over Rikers Island, cites unprecedented violence and mismanagement. This is huge. Jim Hoff reports. A federal judge has stripped the city of control over its notorious Rikers Island jail complex, citing unprecedented levels of violence, systemic mismanagement, and blatant disregard for court orders. In a scathing 77-page ruling released Tuesday, Chief U.S. District Judge Laura Taylor Swain officially stripped New York City and its Department of Corrections of full control of Rikers Island, citing a decade of failure to protect inmates from grave and immediate harm, including unconstitutional levels of violence, abuse, and systemic mismanagement. The ruling issued in the landmark Nunez versus City of New York case appoints an independent Nunez, a remediation manager, to take control of the key safety and use of force functions at Rikers. The decision comes after Judge Swain previously found that the city in civil contempt of 18 separate provisions. The DOC was cited for repeated failures to address excessive use of force. Despite nearly a decade of oversight by a federal monitor and more than 700 expert recommendations, the court concluded that the city had failed to make meaningful progress. It goes on to say here that apparently, in a city that can't even manage its own prisons, we should probably take their political opinions for our entire country, right? It's probably a good city to get all of our ideas from. It's like, oh, you can't even manage a prison. I wonder if you have opinions on how we should manage our farmland and what kind of cars we should drive. I'm talking to you, New York. I'm talking to you. Now, that being said, watch as Sonny Hostin is concerned about the new pope, flips days later after learning that he has black roots. Here's what she had to say.
Especially because he was so close to Pope Francis, who was beloved. And I will say on Friday, I read some things about his sort of lack of inclusion with the LGBTQ plus community. In 2023, actually, that was in 2012, he was interviewed in 2023, and he had completely changed that position, as Anna had mentioned. And he said, you know, he believes what Pope Francis believed, that the church is a church for everyone. The church is very inclusive. So I'm liking this guy a lot. I'm loving the Pope. There's one other thing that's also very interesting to me because President Trump, as you remember, called Haiti a certain type of country. As it turns out, our new American Pope has Haitian and black roots. So we actually have a black Pope. Apparently, it's like chef's kiss for me. So apparently, both of his maternal grandparents are described as black, Haitian, or mulatto in several census documents. And on their marriage license, the grandfather's birth place is Haiti, listed as Haiti. Her birthplace is listed as born in New Orleans. They were identified as people of color, but in 1920, when they migrated to Chicago, the census reflected their race as white.
So I'm loving everything about this Pope.
I'm really enjoying it.
I like, there's that.
All right. Look, I love these race baiters. If you love them as much as I do, which of course I don't, make sure that you continue to support this show as we fight against the radical woke left. You can also support us by getting one of these mugs at thegatewaypundit.com by joining our mug club. They're extremely high quality. Check it out today. I'm Elijah Schaffer. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.